So in this video I break down what is FBA, which stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, and what is FBM, which stands for Fulfillment by Merchant. So I had to make this video because what happens every time is people just base their expenses on the basis of estimation, and they choose the product and then they neglect on so many charges. So there are so many charges when it comes to both FBA and FBM that sellers neglect, and they miscalculate them, and they base their they base their expenses on the basis of some fee calculator, and they neglect so many charges which deducts ultimately from their profits, and they cannot figure out why they are making so less profit. So in this video I'll break down exactly what is FBA and FBM, which methods you should choose, FBA or FBM, which products you should sell in FBA and which products are best suited for FBM. So I will also walk you guys through the charges that are associated with a return or a refund, how to handle a COD return, how to handle returns, how to handle replacement orders, and I will also show you guys, if you choose FBM, then what shipping company should you choose. So I will also share a case study of few of my products that I have used both for FBA and FBM. I have also used in both FBM methods for easy ship as well as self ship, and I will share exactly which method was more profitable. I have taken 3 Amazon courses, and no Amazon course, not a single one, told me about these charges. And I know this is a very important topic, as many sellers are there who do not have a warehouse capability at their home or business place. So I will tell you exactly what should you do if you operate your business single-handedly as a single person and you have no manpower. So I will tell you exactly which shipping method and which method among FBA and FBM should you choose. So I have prepared few slides in which I will describe which method you should choose, and also describe the charges that are associated with various returns and refunds. So I have prepared these slides just for I do not get missed out on any information, and I have also saw many YouTube gurus that teach about selling on Amazon, and they just go give a brief on FBA and FBM and do not tell you exactly the charges that are associated with FBA and FBM, the return cost, the refunds, etc. So let's jump to the slides so that I can show you exactly what I am going to tell you about FBA and FBM. So what is FBA? So FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So in this process, what you have to do is you have to send your goods to Amazon's warehouse, and then Amazon stores your product, and then when a customer purchases your product, Amazon picks from this warehouse, and then they packs in their packaging, very well protected packaging, and they switch to the customers. So this is called FBA. There are some benefits and some costs of FBA. So in FBA, what happens is inventory is sent to Amazon Fulfillment Center. You have to basically send the inventory that you received from customs to the Amazon Fulfillment Centers, and then Amazon handles and ships orders. It also handles the returns. So basically you have to do nothing when a customer requests for a return. Amazon does the customer supports, handle customer shipping and tracking issues. So Amazon does all for you, and it also allows customers to ship via Amazon Prime, which is a 2-day free shipping and also same-day shipping option. And I tell you, I get almost 40 to 50% orders from this shipping method, and which shows in my order as expedited. So it is also considered as less expensive, as Amazon packaging and prep is very cheap, as Amazon buys it at a very bulk quantity. So here are some cons of fulfillment centers. So everything is cost, everything has a cost. Now you do not have all the control of the fulfillment process, and the fees becomes very high when it comes to a heavyweight bulky product. And sellers, as a seller, you have to look at the inventory status and also reorder and send the goods to Amazon's warehouse again if it is at the peak of getting out of stock. So when you're sending product to Amazon's warehouse, you have to also look at that the product inserts, including inserts pointing customer to brand website. So you have to look at that point, that the insert card that you're providing do not provide the customer and lead the customer to an external website. Second option is for fulfillment merchant. So what happens in the process is we have to select the FBA option in the ASIN. So basically what you have to do is you have to select the ASIN and change the listing to fulfillment by merchant, and then you have to store the inventory at your own warehouse. Then when an order comes, you have to process the order from Seller Central account. You have to pick, pack, label and ship the products. Basically you have to print the invoice, you have to label the stickers, shipping labels, etc. And also provide the packaging so that the packaging does not get damaged during transit or transport. You have to also take care of the customer service and returns. So whenever a return is placed, you have to take care of that process. Now, fulfillment by merchant has two processes. It is easy ship and self ship. So in easy ship, Amazon takes care of the return, but in self ship, you have to take care of the return and the customer service. So some benefits of FBM. So select FBM option for each product and set account handling and delivery time. So basically when you are changing your listing to FBM, you have to set a handling time that you will take for processing the order. Then you have to store the inventory at your home or office. Customer either pay shipping or you have to get free shipping. So you can also include a shipping cost to your selling price if you want to charge a shipping cost from your customers. Now, when you are dealing with FBM, you have to pay the shipping cost to the shipping company, that the third-party shipping company that you are the third-party shipping company that you are the third-party shipping company that you will using to send your goods to the customers. You have to pay them upfront. So it can really impact your cash flow when you are shipping 110 to 20 units per day. So process orders in Seller Central account. So you have to process your order from Seller Central account. There you will see there will show if you get an order, it will show as pending. Then you have to pick, pack, label and ship your orders as per account shipping settings. Manage customer service and return yourself. So what are the cons of FBM? So basically you are not eligible for Prime, and you are also getting less sale as you are not eligible for Prime. So you are not getting sales from the Prime shoppers. Products are less likely to win buy box. So basically if you are doing FBM, you will have very less opportunity to get the buy box. And if you do not win the buy box, then you can't run PPC also. Basically what buy box is, when your product do not get a buy box or do not win a buy box, then the buy now option will not show in the in your product detail page, and in that part it will show as add to cart. So here are some benefits of FBA. So for FBA you get the Prime enrollment. This is one of the biggest benefit of FBA. As a third party seller using FBA, all your products are automatically enrolled in Amazon Prime program. So all your products will be automatically enrolled if you choose FBA to the Prime program. All Prime members will see your product first against any FBM, and they will order your product instead of any FBM products. So it is estimated that Amazon has 10 to 20 million Prime members who shop more frequently and spend more than non-Prime members. So buy box wins. If you choose FBA, you will get the buy box very fast, and then what will happen is you can start immediately the PPC in order to launch your product. So there are many factors that go into winning the buy box, and fulfillment method is a big one. An Amazon FBA seller can generally price a little higher than a FBM offer and still hold the buy box. So if a product has multiple sellers, then what happens is the seller that sells for the lowest price generally gets the buy box. And if you choose FBA method, then you have the buy box by default. So when you choose fulfillment by Amazon, Amazon takes on the task of filling your customer orders, including customer service and returns. For some sellers, this is a big benefit. FBA allows you to focus on your time and resource on growing your Amazon business instead of spending it on logistics and storing, packing and shipping your inventory to customers. So if you are handling your packing and shipping yourself, then you know it is a very time consuming part of your business, and you can utilize that time in launching more products. So from FBA you get lower shipping rates. It is likely that fees Amazon charges to ship your products are lower than what you would get through your own shipping account. So if you use FBM, you will get a higher shipping cost from other companies, other shipping companies if you choose them. If that is the case, using FBA is lower cost and increase your profit margin. Some benefits of FBM. So for doing FBM, if you store and ship your product at your place, then you maintain hands-on access to your inventory whenever you need it. Lower cost, because Amazon's fees are based on the size of the item. If you have larger item with smaller margins, you will want to compare the cost using FBA versus handling fulfillment yourself. This is especially true for items that have a slower run rate. So basically what you have to do is you have to open Amazon FBA calculator, and there it shows side by side the cost that you will incur in FBM versus in FBA. So you can set your selling price there and cost of the product there, and choose whatever charges that you are bearing there, and then you can calculate what margins are you getting from FBM and what margins are you getting from using FBA, and then choose whatever method is best suited and profitable for your business. So new Prime program, Amazon recently rolled out a new program. So Amazon basically rolled a new program, not a new, it is from a very long period, and it is called Seller Fulfilled Prime. Let me show you how it looks like. So for enrolling for SPF, Seller Fulfilled Prime, you have to provide a very high quality warehousing service. So Amazon will come and check the warehouse, and then they will decide if you are suitable for enrollment or not. So the next point is control over packaging and inserts. Amazon has very tight restrictions on how sellers communicate to customers on what they say in their communications. So basically it is telling about the product inserts. So when you do FBM, you will have the full control over what you are asking the customers to do. You can also promote your brand there. Of course, if you fulfill without going through Amazon, either you are through SFP, which is for Seller Fulfilled Prime, or FBM, then you can include whatever marketing material you like, and Amazon will have no control over this. Basically, you have to, what you are doing, you have to stay under Amazon terms of services. Now the next point is you do not have to pay the storage fees to Amazon. But if you are using a third-party warehouse, there you have to pay the storage fees. Allows your listing to be live when you're out of stock in FBA. So when your FBA stock finishes, then you can just switch your listing to FBM, and you can fulfill orders from your home, so that your products will remain in stock. It will not show that your product is out of stock. Some assumptions and considerations. Some assumptions. Even if FBA is used, the seller will still incur inbound shipping, storage, and some other processing cost to move products to Amazon warehouse. So it is basically referring to the transportation charge and the labeling fee that you have to pay when you are shipping the products from your place to Amazon's warehouse. Fulfillment to Amazon assumes a cost to process inventory that is sent to Amazon's warehouse. Fulfillment to customer is the seller warehouse cost, order handling, pick and pack, and weight handling to fulfill a customer order. Additional long-term storage penalty cost. So it is important. So when you store your product more than 181 days in Amazon warehouse, you are charged with a penalty cost. So you have to make sure you are choosing a product that is very good, that has very good sales. Referral fee are dependent on the product. So basically, whether you are doing FBA or FBM, Amazon will charge their referral fee and fixed closing fee, and they are fixed charges. Here you can see the chart in which you can find out what charges you have to pay in FBA, FBM, and SFP, which is called Seller Fulfilled Prime. A seller can sell as both FBA and FBM, but not at the same time, product in same country at the same time. If your FBA stocks run out, then you can switch to FBM to fulfill orders from your warehouse. Now, which method is best suited for your business and product type? So for FBA, we generally ship products that have a fast moving sales. So basically the product has a good sales, that is suitable for FBA. And if your product is lower priced goods, then also it is best for FBA. And then smaller weight and dimension products. So basically it is referring to smaller size product and standard size products. And if you're operating a company single-handedly and you're the only person that runs the company and you have no manpower, then it is the best option for you to choose. And then this is FBM. So FBM is suited for slowing moving goods. So the goods that have low sales, that is suitable for FBM. Businesses without the infrastructure to maintain FBA inventory in stock. So you can order small quantity and then use FBM to fulfill them, so that you do not have to send multiple times to Amazon's warehouse when your product goes out of stock. Now, fulfillment merchant is divided into two categories, which is called easy ship and self ship. So what happens in easy ship is you still store the product, you pick, you pack, you label the product, the shipping labels that need to be printed on that package while shipping. Amazon courier guy comes and picks the packed product from your home and office. Amazon handles returns, COD orders, refunds. Basically, Amazon handles the returns if a customer requests for a return. It also handles the COD payments, the COD returns, the refunds, etc. Amazon charges shipping costs from your seller account. And in self-ship, you still store the product, you still pack, label. But in this case, Amazon courier guy doesn't come to pick your goods. You have to book a third-party courier service. They will pick up your product from your office or home, and you have to basically pay them the shipping charge upfront. And you also have to handle the returns, the COD orders, the refunds all yourself. Third-party courier company charges shipping cost upfront from you from your in-hand capital, which can impact your cash flow if you are shipping 10 to 20 products daily. Now, I have promised you about a case study of my product that I use for FBA as well as FBM. So as you know, this is a product that I used to sell. So these are the dimensions of this product. These are in centimeters and the weight. So basically this product fell under oversized product, and let's break down the charges. So here you can see the FBA fees is 204 rupees. So this is the commission, which is also called as referral fee. This remains constant whether for FBA or FBM. This is the FBA pick and pack fee, which is based on the size chart. This is the weight handling fee or the shipping fee, and this is the fixed closing fee. The fixed closing fee will remain the same if you are doing whether by FBA or FBM. So now, when I used FBM, so it was a bulky product, so it was not eligible for easy ship. Here you can see the charges. Here you can see the commission, which is also called the referral fee, remained the same. The fixed closing fee also remained the same. And this product I was charging the customer 175 rupees of shipping cost. So here you can see I used delivery for delivering my this product, and they costed me around 238 rupees. So the shipping charge was 238 rupees. The packing fee was around 80 rupees, as I have to ear bubble wrap it, and I do not use any other box, as the product has a box that it was coming with. And the total charges was around 256 rupees, including the shipping charge. The total FBA fees was 204. So you can see the difference. And that is why I was charging the shipping cost to the customer. Now, when I used FBA, then let's see how the return process was and the return fees. So the FBA fees was 218.58 rupees, and when your customer requests a return or refund, then you do not get the FBA fees back, which is the FBA pick and pack fee and the weight handling fee back. But Amazon refunds you their referral fee and the fixed closing fee, and they also takes a refund commission from your product. So they charge the refund commission when your product is delivered. That is when they charge the refund commission. And if your customer cancels the order before the product is delivered, then the refund commission is not charged. Let's see the refund commission, how is it calculated. So here you can see so let's see how the refund is calculated. So refund holdback sample calculation, refund on single products. So this is how the refund commission is calculated. So Amazon refunds you back the referral fee and closing fee back, but they do not give you the FBA fees back. So this was the total cost that costed me for a return, 259 rupees. And then a return that was done through FBM. So as you can see, for FBM they also charge a refund commission as the product was already delivered. The return shipping cost that costed me was 526 rupees. Here you can see the screenshot from ShipRocket. The refund commission was 35, so the total cost of return was 561 rupees, and the total cost during FBA return was 259. Now this 526 rupees shipping may vary, but that will not vary that much, and the FBA cost will be very less. Oh, basically what I learned from this was handling return for FBM can be very expensive for a heavyweight product. Shipping cost will also be very high if the customer's demands for a 2-day delivery, and you get lower sales if you ask a shipping cost in addition to the selling price. Also, eventually you will get lower sales as your product is not eligible for Prime. Always compare the charges in FBA and FBM in Amazon FBA calculator, then make your decision. The next product is a little bit smaller product which comes under standard size product, and this is not my product, I am just showing as a reference. So this was the charges when I used FBA. So here you can see the commission, which is also called Amazon referral fee, the FBA pick and pack fee for standard size product, FBA weight handling fee, here closing fee. So the FBA fees was 155 rupees, and then let's see what was the charges when I used FBM. And it was a smaller size product, so it was eligible for easy ship. So here you can see the easy ship charge was 150 rupees. So basically it was the shipping cost or the weight handling charge, and all other charges remains the same. And it was costing around 25 rupees for adding one additional outer box and protecting it with air bubble and printing the labels, etc. The total cost for fulfilling this was around 180 rupees, and the total FBA fees was around 155 rupees. So you can see the difference in FBA and FBM. Packing that Amazon Prime / FBA product has a really high quality, so you can expect a less damage and in turn a less negative review. So obviously you must have seen the orders that gets delivered through Amazon Prime are very high quality and well protected. So if you are going to provide that same kind of packaging, that it will cost you very much, as Amazon orders in very bulk, so the cost that they will get is very cheap. So now EasyShip versus FBA shipping charges. So EasyShip charges you can see here, but this is for standard size products. So for 500 grams, for local charges it was charging 38 rupees in EasyShip, and in FBA it was charging 28 rupees. Here you can see it is around 10 rupees in difference in the shipping charges for FBA and EasyShip. And FBA, the pick and pack fee for standard size are this, and the storage fee is 20 rupees, which depends upon the CBM. So it is not for a single product, it depends on the total CBM of the product, of the shipment. So the shipping charges is higher than the shipping cost in FBA, and you have to be very careful about the packaging when you're doing EasyShip or FBM, because if your package is not according to Amazon standard, then Amazon courier guy may refuse picking your goods. So it is for EasyShip. If your packaging is not up to Amazon standard, then Amazon courier guy will refuse to take your goods. Packaging, prepping, providing the safety air bubbles or anything else to protect your product being damaged during transportation will cost you huge compared to Amazon, as they purchase in bulk. You will get very less order from Prime members, as it still does not qualify for Prime delivery. So you will still get a lesser order as the Prime customers won't order your products. FBA will be cheaper option for you if you do not have any manpower, and for major cases we all start our journey single-handedly. So if you're starting your business just right now, then you have to choose FBA, and that will be the best model for you. But FBA does come with some charges. So here are the charges. So I'm describing here the charges for standard size product. So for standard size product, you have to basically pay the pick and pack fee, which is per unit. and the pick and pack fee for standard size is per unit 10 rupees, and the storage fee depends on the total product stored in the warehouse, and it is calculated on CBM basis. And the shipping fee, which is also called weight handling fee, which I have showed you earlier. Now the FBA disposal fee. So when a customer places a return and Amazon finds out the product is damaged and it cannot be sold again, then Amazon, you can either place to return that product to your place, or Amazon disposes the product, and in either case Amazon charges you a charge. So it is for a removal fee when you decide to remove the damaged products from Amazon's warehouse and ship it to your place. Now additional long-term storage fee is also charged when your inventory stored in the Amazon's warehouse for more than 181 days. The charges associated with return and refund are in the next slides. How to handle COD orders. So for both FBA and EasyShip, Amazon will handle both order return and refund for COD orders. For self-ship, you have to use a courier service COD method. They will take the payment and they will release the payment based on their criteria. They can hold the payment, or they can also send the full COD amount directly to your bank account. Charges associated with returns and refunds. So for FBA, Amazon do not return the FBA fees when an order is cancelled, refund So for FBA, Amazon do not return the FBA fees when an order is cancelled or refund is initiated. And if your return rate is less than 8%, then Amazon will do not return the FBA fees back to you. But Amazon will reimburse the FBA fees to you if the order return rate is more than 8%. So suppose the order return rate out of 100 orders you sent is 9 units, then Amazon will return the FBA fees for that 9th unit. But you won't get the FBA fees back for the 8 units, as you won't get the refund FBA fees returned for below 8%. Now if your product is delivered and then if the customer requests to return, then you will be charged refund commission. And if the customer cancels the order before delivery, then you won't be charged a refund commission. You will get the referral fee and the fixed closing fee back for orders those are refunded. Now the fixed closing fee and referral fee you get back for all the refunds, and it is not based on any 8% criteria. If the product that is returned from customer remains in sellable condition, then it will join your current inventory, and if the product is damaged, then Amazon will reimburse you a certain percentage based on the category. So they won't, if the product is damaged, they won't reimburse you the full amount. They will reimburse you either 20% or 30% based on the category you are selling. Now the charges associated with returns and refund for FBM. So you are not charged for any replacement orders. So if a customer places a request for replacement, then Amazon will handle all the shipping, etc., and they will not charge you anything. If a customer places a return request, then you can refund them after the product is returned to you. So basically, if the customer returns you a damaged product, then you can see the quality of damage and then do a partial refund after checking the damage and how much the damage is. You will get back the referral fee and fixed closing fee, but you won't get back the EasyShip shipping cost. For self-ship, you can do a partial refund after deducting the shipping charges. So if you are doing self-ship, then you can refund a partial amount after deducting the shipping charges. But for EasyShip, you won't get the shipping cost back. If you cancel an order from your end, so basically it is for FBM. When an order is placed, you get the notification in your Seller Central account, and it states as a pending order. And when you go to fulfill the order and you see that you do not have the, you are not capable to fulfill the order right now, then you can cancel the order. So when you cancel the order, Amazon charges you some cancellation charges. So if you cancel the order before estimated ship date, then you have to pay 100% referral fees. And if you cancel the order after estimated ship date, then you have to pay 150% of the referral fees to Amazon as a penalty. And it's also impact your account health. For EasyShip, if the customer do not return your product back, then you will be reimbursed. So it is on their A to Z claims. If customer do not return your product after 51 days of placing the return request, and you do not get the product returned to you, then Amazon will reimburse your product's cost, and you can just press claim to Amazon seller support. So when your product is damaged by either by customer or by Amazon during easy ship transport, then Amazon do not give you a full reimbursement. They give a certain percentage based on your category. So you can just search on Seller Central account about the reimbursement based on the category. Then you will see the amount of or percentage of reimbursement that you will get if you got a damaged product. How do I handle the cost during returns? So my refund percentage is less than 5. So every 100 units I sold, I get a refund rate of around 5 units. So basically what happens is in every return Amazon charges their FBA fees. So for every return I was charged around 130 rupees. So as you know, the return above 8% Amazon will reimburse the FBA fees back. But for the return less than 8%, I do not get any return from Amazon. So for that 8%, what I do is I generally calculate upfront the cost that will incur me for that 8 returns. So each return was costing me 130 rupees. So for 8 return, it will cost me around 1040 rupees. So I basically divide this 1040 rupees into the rest 92 units, so that I do not face any losses. And I have already set my price to cover this loss. So for covering the loss of 1040, I have increased the price by an additional 11 rupees. So if you divide 1040 by 92 units, then you will get 11 rupees. And if I get return more than 8%, Amazon will eventually return the FBA fees anyway. For self-ship, if the customer returns a damaged product, then you just do a partial refund. So now, what you learned from these slides? So number 1, if you are just starting out, then do not think just go for FBA method. And if you are operating a heavy bulky product that are getting fewer sales, then you should go for FBM. And if you have a bulky product that is getting more sales, then you should obviously go for FBA, because the return cost will be very high in FBM method. And if you are operating standard size products and that are selling like 30 to 60 per month, then you should go for FBM method. Now I am assuming the product that you are selling, the standard size product that is getting 30 to 60 product sales per month, is definitely a high priced product. Because if it is not a high priced product, then your margin will be very less, and for 30 to 60 product sales per month is very less, and you should stop selling that product. So that's all for this video. Guys, if you like this video, then please hit a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because it took me a lot of time preparing these slides and put it in front of you guys. So comment below which shipping method are you going to choose after watching this video. Now if you are going to choose FBA method, then comment below FBA in capital letters, and if you are going to choose FBM, then comment below FBM in capital letters. That will really encourage to make this type of videos. That's all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video.